Hello and welcome. You're watching News Flash. I'm Sankit Upadhyay. 2 days of drama around the arrest of former Finance Minister P Chidambaram. The special CBI court has now granted 4 days of custody till the 26th of August. The questioning will begin tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Statements of other accused in the INX Media case, Indrani Mukerjea, will be read out now that she's turned approver. And the former Finance Minister will be confronted, as we just told you, post Mukerjea becoming an approver in this case. The legal story aside, is there a political angle to the arrest? The Congress has come out in full support of the former Finance Minister. If this is political, if these pictures of Chidambaram's arrest is with a political motive as claimed by the Congress, then can the Congress convincingly mount a legal case to back its claim that this is a fake case? If the CBI says that there is corruption, will they be able to prove their claims? Remember how the 2G case fizzled out. And more importantly, if this is a political witch hunt, as claimed by the Congress, then are Sonia and Rahul next in the National Herald case? All that and much more in this special edition of News Flash. Let me quickly introduce my guest this evening, and also a quick reminder, programming note, at around 7:45 we'll be having with us Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, and we'll be speaking to him about this entire case. Remember, he argued in favor of Mr. P Chidambaram. At this moment, let me introduce Vikram Singh, ex-DGP of Uttar Pradesh, as well as Kush Sharma. He's an advocate who joins us in the studio. DGP Vikram Singh, we'll begin with you. You know, in the preamble to this broadcast, I said that each side now has the burden to prove their claims. The Congress proving that this is fake, and the CBI proving that what they have against Mr. P Chidambaram are absolute facts, and this is a case of corruption.
Mr. Sanket, I know it is an uphill task for any agency to prove cases of corruption, especially the ones that are as convoluted as this one. But you may realize that there is a trail, howsoever insidious it may be and howsoever difficult it may be. But I must compliment the ED and the CBI for uncovering one of the most insidious and well-kept secrets of the country. You may recall that FIPB and the remittances in Karthi's accounts, they have something in common. A remittance is made and FIPB approvals come. Remittance is made, something else happens. And it will not be very difficult for the CBI in the face of this, that it is said that when you break the law, you tend to make mistakes, and these mistakes would be very easy for the CBI and the ED to prove in a court of law. Indrani Mukerjea, you may recall, it is almost 4 years ago when Indrani Mukerjea for the first time mentioned the name of P Chidambaram. It was something like a fairy tale. But over the years, I think the homework that has been done, pieces of the jigsaw pieces were put together, and now the picture, the entire picture, a clear picture seems to be emerging, that what actually transpired in the INOX case, how the remittances were made in the shell companies, how the payoffs were made, and the benefit and the dividends given by P Chidambaram. I don't think it will be very difficult. Now the escape route taken by Mr. P Chidambaram, that the other members were complicit and they have not been questioned. It is not for the accused to tell what the investigating agency should do and what it should not do. The other members agreed, if it was an immoral or an illegal act, should have come up with what they had to say then itself. Now it is too late. Either they were complicit or they were compliant or both. But the fact remains that the entire system of the FIPB was absolutely corrupt and rotten to the core, and the rest is history.
Okay. Kush, this is an interesting point that DGP Singh seems to be making about the Foreign Investment Promotions Board and the clearance that was given. In their defense, Mr. P Chidambaram has repeatedly said that it was not me who decided alone. It was a board comprising of 5 people. So why is it that one person is accused whereas the others are not?
First of all, it is a litmus test for the CBI to stand on the footing today when they have arrested Mr. P Chidambaram, who is the ex-finance minister. He is a senior advocate in the Honorable Supreme Court of India. What was the need of the custodial interrogation after so much long time? he had been participating into the investigation, that part has to be looked into. That part was also put up before the court. The court has rightly taken a part. Now, for these 4 days, what if the CBI does not come out with something or the answers? Again, the CBI will say, look, we asked him question for next for the 4 days. Now, what will be the question? What we have to look into? What is the status of the CBI today interrogating Mr. Chidambaram? What was the necessity of taking him into custody? What if tomorrow again they say that he is not cooperating?
That is best left to the wisdom of the investigating agencies. They can, I think they're well within their right to question anyone.
Right, they are. But when we see the other cases, what happens when they investigate the other cases? Now, let me see. Let me just tell you another case. Vyapam. Let's talk about Vyapam. Vyapam is also looked into by the CBI, but why not CBI is acting in such a fast manner? What they had been
accused of whataboutery.
That will be another part. So ultimately, now it's a litmus test for CBI. In the next 4 days, they have to get something out of Chidambaram. Now, if they get something, they have to go to court. That look, we have dug out something. Now, these are the trails. These are the money trails. And for this, we need further for a further interrogation. We require his custody again. It might be possible. This is not the end. That after 4 days or 5 days, even the court would say they would go for another extension of that remand. It does not mean that will be another part.
Yeah, Dr. Vikram Singh, let me come back to you. In a case as complicated as this, and complicated a word that you used, I want to ask you what really should be, and it's a little dangerous to trudge on this part, but what according to you should be the line of investigation, the line of questioning from here on? What can the CBI do based on the evidence that they have?
Mr. Sanket, have a well-defined investigation plan, and as the esteemed panelist had said, Mr. Chidambaram is not an ordinary accused. He has been the ex-Home Minister, ex-Finance Minister, and a Supreme Court advocate of great eminence. And when you interrogate and make him an accused, please take pains to do your homework well and proper. Take legal opinion every other day and at every stage, lest you are caught on the wrong foot. I would say all documentary evidence, confront Indrani and Peter Mukerjea with Mr. Chidambaram. By all means, confront them and examine and investigate threadbare whatever Indrani and Peter Mukerjea are saying and what Chidambaram ji has to say in respect of what they say that the money was paid and what favors they caught. This is a convoluted and a very, very complicated investigation involving remittances, acceptances, hawala and what have you. Their meetings.
No, one point, and from a legal standpoint, I wanted to understand.
If they are still available. Yeah. It is a long drawn out.
Yes. DGP Singh, one point that I wanted to understand from you, the Congress's line of defense all through yesterday was that there is a person who has now turned approver in this case, and there are certain statements that she has recorded, right? We are talking about Indrani Mukerjea. Many or some leaders of the Congress say that this perhaps will not be admissible in court. Now, what is the legal position here? I want to know from you.
I really would like to understand making an approver is within the ambit of law, and the CRPC enjoins us and gives the authority to the investigating agency to make approvers, and the testimony is very much admissible in a court of law. The approver is given a certain right of non-conviction or perhaps a mild or toned down or a diluted sentence, that is about all. But making an approval is within the ambit of law. It is not knee-jerk or whimsical. I really don't know. I think it is a weak defense on the part of the Congress to say that making an approval is not within the ambit of law. It is perfectly within the ambit of law. Do you mean to say for a moment that the CBI with all the legal assistance would do anything and bungle in this manner when they know that they are pitted against the likes of Mr. Sibbal, Mr. Khurshid, Mr. Salman Khurshid, Mr. Singhvi? They would do their homework very, very properly.
So the stakes are high as far as Dr. Singh is concerned. He seems to suggest that the stakes are very high, and the CBI, if they have something credible against Mr. P Chidambaram, they will have to present it to escape scrutiny, to escape embarrassment. I would use that word. Kush, before I come back to you, let me quickly go across to our colleague Neeta Sharma, who joins us from New Delhi. Neeta, Any word on what is going to happen? What is likely now? Now that he's on 4 days of remand with the CBI, what is the CBI likely to do?
Sanket, the CBI's course of investigation is going to focus on Indrani Mukerjea's statement and on those FIPB clearances, because CBI claims that it is not only INX Media IFPB clearance, there are many more FIPB clearances which were cleared by Mr. Chidambaram when he was the Finance Minister. As far as this INX Media case is concerned, it has, CBI claims the chain has been established, that how Indrani Mukerjea and Peter Mukerjea had gone to meet him in North Block. Then Mr. P Chidambaram had hinted to them that go and meet my son. Both of them then had met Kartik Chidambaram, and then the FIP clearances were cleared as far as INX Media case is concerned. And 335 crores was the money which was passed on to Mr. Kartik Chidambaram in different accounts. The CBI also claims that there are many letter of rogatories which they have sent to various countries. Replies of some have come, so they would be confronting Mr. P Chidambaram regarding that. However, during the course of arguments in Rouse Avenue today, his counsel contended that he was only asked 11 questions, out of which 6 were earlier also asked by Mr. P Chidambaram, and he also gave the same reply. So there is nothing new to add to this case, but CBI does not think so, because they say after last time when they had interrogated him, after that only Indrani Mukerjea turned approver, and there are very many questions which Mr. P Chidambaram need to answer as of now also. Sanket?
Okay. Thank you very much, Neeta, for getting us all the latest information. So, Mr. Kush, it's very clear that the CBI's line of questioning will be not just restricted to the INX Media case, but other FIPB clearances as well. Do you feel that this is an investigation which will go or transcend beyond the INX Media case? And that may be the,
It should. Right now, the investigating agencies are working over it. Now, when we see the ambit of the case, and when it's the FIPB has gone beyond what Neeta also just said, that there are more clearances given by the board itself. Now, when we look at the board, what sanctions were given and whose instruction it was given, the file notings of the government, everything needs to be looked into, because see, it's nothing that it cannot go. There is a proper channel. Whether the channel has been adopted, whether the concerned authority, the concerned authority has given an approval to that, whether he was competent to give that approval or not, that part needs to be looked into. Now, when we look into isolating Chidambaram into this particular aspect, raises serious questions today. Why not those 6 members also, the secretaries? Why don't they take sanctions for those officers also today? That is a very important question. Now the investigation is going in bits and pieces, that raises serious questions on the investigation.
Okay, so you're saying that the investigation is in bits and pieces. Very quickly, Dr. Singh, would you like to respond to that? The allegation or the content?
Not an allegation.
Yeah, not an allegation.
This is my observation.
I
would certainly like to.
Kush's observation in this case is that the approach of investigation is very piecemeal. It is piecemeal.
What I would say is piecemeal, what is being referred to as piecemeal, would be parts of a larger picture. They are components and they would be adding up. Any investigation has several components, and these are the components to it. Mr. Kush, of course, knows what he's talking about, but let us not live in an illusion. In the first place, a cabinet minister as senior and as powerful as Mr. Chidambaram, he can get away with whatever he wants to. We know how government committees run. They run by the fact that whoever is the president, he is the person who matters, and the king can do no wrong. And I would stop at that. I'm not leveling any allegations. But the way the government committees are run, the others are absolute fillers. And I doubt very much if there is a note of dissent ever. I have seldom had the luxury of seeing notes or hearing of any notes of dissent at the highest level. These are convenience committees, and the chairman is the be-all and the end-all. And if there is an exception, the CBI will certainly get to the fact that was there a note of dissent, was there any verbal communication, was there any mental wavelength on which they decided who will say what, and will there ever be a note of dissent? Was there ever a note of dissent? And if the answer is no to my three questions, then the conclusions are very obvious, and this is what all investigation is about.
All right. Dr. Vikram Singh as well as Kush Sharma, do please stay on. We are going to stop for a short break at this moment and we'll come right back on this broadcast. All right, we are discussing what the line of investigation as well as questioning of the CBI is going to be and what really happens in this particular case. Kush Sharma as well as Vikram Singh, the ex-DGP, are still with us. Kush, I want to ask you this question. There is a feeling within the Congress, and this is the reason why post the 23rd of May, for the first time, you can see that the Congress is speaking in unison. Right? There is great bonhomie, there is great unity as far as attacking the BJP is concerned. They feel that this case too will go the 2G way. What do you have to say about this?
See, 2G case was on a different footing. Now today what we have to look into is, we have to wait for the charge sheet. Now if the line of investigation and the arguments of the investigation in the court, CBI, investigation agency, saying that we have all the dots, now we have to link it by confronting Mr. Chidambaram at various stages and various points. So I think so that should be the end of investigation then, and the charge sheet should come. And let him face the law of the land.
So you're saying the delay in the charge sheet will lead to speculation that perhaps there was nothing and this was witch hunt?
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I don't know what is the investigation is on what line, because that has to be kept within the investigating agency.
I mean, post your investigation, a charge sheet has to exist.
So what new thing has come to them after this particular part? Now that part has to be looked into, most important.
DGP Vikram Singh, see, here are the things that are being said about this case. Matter pertains to 2007, investigation begins in 2017, right? FIPB clearance, Mr. Chidambaram is an accused or a conspirator or a person who's responsible for the act, whereas there are other members who have not been, there is no prosecution sanction against them, or they've not been questioned, right? And now this case that Kush is talking about. Do you think that the process of charge sheet filing and any delay thereof is going to lead to speculation of perhaps a political angle to this story?
I wish I could contradict fully what Mr. Kush has said. The credibility of the CBI took a bashing, and it will take some time before they are able to redeem their credibility. Now, what happened in the case of Lalu Prasad Yadav, Netaji, Mayawati, these were roller coaster investigation. At one point of time, you would feel that the investigators are riding a Ferrari, and on other moments, you would feel that are they riding a bullock cart or on the back of a buffalo. I mean, there was no progress whatsoever. Everybody was wondering what is motivating the CBI to do what. So the question would arise naturally amongst every person. If 2G investigation was an unmitigated disaster, I do hope that this would be an exception and would prove the credibility of the CBI investigators. These are large questions, eloquent questions, and it is an opportunity for the CBI to put its best foot forward and come out with flying colors. And I'm sure they have incontrovertible evidence in hand, and they need not bungle it up. And yes, this is an opportunity for them to charge sheet, and so whatever damage was done to the credibility in the 2G investigation, they're able to redeem it and whitewash it.
Okay, interesting. And we'll know soon once the charge sheet is filed or once this matter goes to court in its due process. Do stay on with us, Kush, as well as Dr. Singh. I also have my colleague Arvind, who joins us, Arvind Gunashekhar. He also joins us from right outside the court. Arvind, just a short while ago, I was hearing what you were saying to our colleague, where you were saying that perhaps tomorrow 9:30 a.m. onwards, the statements of a person who has become an approver in this case, Indrani Mukerjea, P Chidambaram, may be confronted with those statements. Is that what this arrest is all about? What else do you know?
Sanket, in today's hearing, the Central Bureau of Investigation told the court saying that it's a duty of the agency, it's the right of the agency to get to the bottom of this case. So they have said that we are determined that we want to bring this case to a logical conclusion. So it's very clear that the agency has prepared a set of questionnaire, including all the statements that they have recorded as on date in this particular case. They have recorded the statement of Indrani Mukerjea, was accused number 1 as per the FIR. Now she has turned as an approver. They have also recorded the statement of accused number 2, that is Peter Mukerjea. They also recorded the statement of Gandhi, who is also the son of former Finance Minister P Chidambaram, who has been named as an accused number 3. Apart from these 3 named accused in the FIR, the agency has also recorded the statement of several Finance Ministry officials who were working in the Finance Ministry at that particular point of time. They also recorded some of the members of the FIPB board that actually cleared this foreign direct investment. So all this statement will be compiled together and it would be confronted with P Chidambaram. So this is the plan of action for the Central Bureau of Investigation for the next 4 days, because they have managed to get 4 days of custody. So within the next 4 days, they would be confronting him with all these documents, with all the evidences, what all they have managed to get at this particular point of time. And what we are hearing is that the agency is not happy with this 4 days of custody. They will be asking for more custody when they again produce him before the special CBI court on August 26.
Now, Arvind, very quickly, see, most of these developments are already known. They're out in the public domain. The documents that you're talking about, Indrani Mukerjea's statement, it's been widely reported in the media. What really has been the defense of Mr. P Chidambaram and Karthi Chidambaram, because he too was named? You know, for instance, having property outside, bank accounts outside, a secret meeting in which Karthi was allegedly told that, he's going to give you FIPB clearance, and then eventually an account number given in which money was transferred.
As per the defense of P Chidambaram, they are seeing this case into 2 parts. One, the alleged irregularities in granting FIPB clearance to INX Media. That is part 1. Part 2 is subsequent to this clearance, a kickback that was received by Karthi Chidambaram owned companies, that what the agencies are alleging. So in this first part, Chidambaram role is being proved. That's what Chidambaram legal team is saying, that he does not have any role with what Karthi Chidambaram's companies are doing, or what the agencies are claiming that these are the companies of Karthi Chidambaram. Even the agency's evidence are showing that these companies, these so-called shell companies, have been floated by Karthi Chidambaram, which was used to receive the kickbacks when and where when FIPB clearance were given in irregular procedures. So Chidambaram is very confident. He is saying that I don't have any role when it comes to my son's companies. I am a separate income tax assessee. I have my own separate income. I have my own assets. I have my own companies. So my role is only limited to the FIPB clearance. And where he is saying that was not my own decision. It was not an unilateral decision. In fact, what he told the court today through his counsel is that he is not a decider in this particular matter, whereas he is just an approver of that FIPB clearance. Whereas this FIPB was decided by a team of 6 then senior secretaries, whereas he just approved it. So that's his defense, Sanket.
Okay, Arvind, many thanks for joining us. Kush Sharma as well as Vikram Singh, you heard what Arvind had to say over there one by one. See, his defense is clear, Kush. It is very clear what he's about to tell the CBI officers. He's been saying that very openly.
Right.
So then what new? We reach an impasse. Where is the proof of what the CBI is claiming to be true?
Now, in the beginning when I started, I said it's a litmus test for the CBI. So now they have to justify their 4 days custody. The most important part is within their 4 days custody,
and
what they have.
With 4 days.
Now, everybody is sure of that particular part, that 4 days they are not happy with. They would be also seeking extension. So obviously you can't torture somebody into the custody like that, and there are certain Supreme Court judgments. So it's not the way it has been portrayed into the. Right now he is not guilty. He is an innocent man till the time he claims trial and the court pronounced him guilty. That is the point what we have to look into. Now today we sitting into debates into different channels, and we see stuff there, and we already pronounced somebody a guilty first hand.
Okay.
This is an investigation. then a charge sheet would be filed.
Yeah.
He has a right to claim trial, and then when the charge is framed, he would go for his trial itself. Whether those evidence are credible enough to stand before the court of law.
Either way, Kush Sharma as well as Vikram Singh, as I wrap up this broadcast, I'm running out of time. The credibility of an organization and an individual is at stake. The individual is P Chidambaram, the organization is the Central Bureau of Investigation. Thank you very much to the two of you and also our correspondents for joining us with all the latest. That's a wrap in this edition of Newsflash. News continues right here on NDTV. Stay with us.